Hey, what's going on? What's going on? See who's tapping in.
Frank.
Frank, everyone, yeah. Frank,
Mhm.
oh, wait a minute. He was mad he didn't make it to the
I know,
last one.
I saw that.
The real
So,
hella heat.
what's going on, D?
Yeah. And Will Sally.
Yeah. What's going on, Will? So we starting a little late this week. It's not that big of a deal, but we got a real interesting couple guys to talk to. Darren put us onto this one. Tell us how you came across them, Darren.
You know what? We were at Tinley, and some of the jeans that he was working with was Cryptic and DG. You know, your favorite jeans. Well, matter of fact, it's both your guys' favorite jeans.
We can't stand DG.
Cryptic
I
and
love
DG together. Yeah.
Those are
Yeah, and he was down to earth. Really started talking to me, and we chopped it up. And I was like, "Hey, I had to get a snake from him."
right, and this is their first one that they're doing where they're coming online and talking about their collection and how they got to where they are now. So pretty cool. Was gonna be brainstorming with them and pick their brains and see what avenues they're gonna they've been down already and what avenues they're gonna go continue to go down. So without further ado, we're gonna bring on the main attraction this week. Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up?
How y'all doing?
Doing very well. As you'll probably see, or maybe you've known, it's a really laid back channel. We get down to the bolts and nuts of everything, and hopefully some of the information we put out can help some people. I know we're absorbing everything like a sponge, so
Oh yeah.
we're new. And Darren, he's actually the vet. He's been doing it for a while. So we wanted to connect with you guys and see what pick your brains. Introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having us. I know we're excited to come on and talk. This is the first time we've ever done this, so this is a fun thing for us to do. My name's Wesley. This is
Weston.
and we're Muscles and Geeks Ball Pythons. Been just a father and son team that had a hobby that turned into a little bit of a passion, and we're just going forward and seeing where it goes.
I see the muscles. I see the muscles. That's no
I'm
take.
I'm uh, I'm I'm over 50, so I've worked hard to get where I'm at.
Oh man, that's what I'm
That's
talking about.
big. That's big.
Yeah, that's huge. That's
Will,
huge.
you're almost there. Will, you're almost there.
Hey, hey, you know what? If I got that physique when I hit 50, I'm gonna be thankful. I'm gonna be
It's
thankful.
right around the corner. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about the business brand. I know you branded it Muscles and Geeks. How did
Yep.
you?
Yep. Well, it's actually my son's idea. I wanted to do W&W constrictors.
I hated
And
it.
he thought it was boring. We got a buddy up north called Python's Going Postal, and his name is Cody
I can't say
Pathowitz.
it. Yeah, pass away.
It's a cool last name, but he was like, no, dude. He said have something fun. He said play with it. So Wesley come up with Muscles and Geeks Ball Pythons. I'm like, I don't know. That sounds kind of stupid, but it was memorable. And my daughter made the logo, which is a Star Wars theme, and
Right.
kind of mimicked off that. But just something fun and different and something memorable. So I was like, oh, what the heck, we'll go with it. Plus, it gives me motivation for one of us to kind of stay in halfway decent shape to kind of help uplift the name. So,
I like Taco Bell to stay in shape, so I can't help myself.
but also I had one guy come up to one show and say, okay, uh, where's the muscle? And I always tell everybody the muscle's on the table. So just stand back and look and see what you can see. So
That's a good
we have a
thing.
lot of fun with it. So yeah, this is something we just started because I had reptiles my whole life. He's always known to have something in the house.
Yeah, so he was actually getting out of it when I was getting into ball pythons back in high school. Started my sophomore year, and he had a couple more snakes, a boa.
Quite a lot.
Well, I mean that's kind of all you had left was that. I mean you had everything that you could ever think of in the house,
I was
and
wanting to restore a car, and my wife said, "That's fine, but you got into the garage." So I had one of everything. We had a literal zoo growing up. When they were younger, they would have their little reptile week at school. I would bring in. I would start out with local snakes, and then I would have a little fun to take them all the way around the world. With snakes from South America, lizards, and everything from Africa, and over in Australia, and just it was real fun. For always a big pet owner, had them for years and years, so I had about one of everything getting out of it, and he got me into picking him up a ball python, and
I
the
think it
guy
was an albino, was
was
it?
an
Yeah,
albino,
albino.
and the guy had a bumblebee that he had for sale as well, and I fell in love with it. So
Yeah, well, what made it even better was what kind of got him. I've always been into the genetics part of it. I love watching.
I could care less.
Yeah, he didn't like. He was like this.
Pretty is it not pretty?
Yeah, I love watching Snakebite TV. I watched a lot of constrict. What's his name up in Garrick? I can't remember.
Royal Constrictor
Yeah,
by design.
yeah. So I watched his YouTube a lot, and then Dad he went down there to pick up pick up the snake for me, and he brought this bumblebee back home, and it was bumblebees always have really pretty yellows and that really cool pattern.
Now, I'm not a ball python guy at the beginning of this. I've had colubrids and red tails, retics, all that kind of stuff. So when I got an animal, it pretty much looked like it did its entire life for the most part. And I got this ball python, and I really didn't like ball pythons at the time.
He didn't.
I mean,
He thought they were boring.
Well, I had my bigger snakes, and anyway, but this bumblebee, beautiful animal, just this bright yellow and this black, and the way it was just striped everywhere, it was the coolest thing ever. And I don't know, about 3 to 6 months into it,
Yeah, it started getting that.
and I'm like, what's wrong with my snake?
It started turning brown for the
He was like,
pastel.
"What?" I'm like, it's brown. And he was like, it's pastel, Dad. I'm like, pastel? What does that mean? It's pastel. I don't understand what that means. And he said, it's pastel, Dad. It's what they do. I'm like, I said, okay, I don't understand what they do. So, but that got me intrigued, and then that got me going and doing my own little research. And I found some of the early YouTubes of Ozzy, and how he was producing animals, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I like. So, and then the rabbit hole just opened up wide, and I jumped in head first, and I ain't looked back.
I wanted to do this since I was in high school, and so I got him on board, and it's where we got to us now. It's something we've always done since I was 16 years old, and it's just it's becoming more of not just a hobby for us anymore. We're getting to where we're expanding out into, okay, we need to either take this extremely serious, or we just need to keep it on the hobby part of it to where we're just making a couple clutches a year. And it's getting fun because we're either producing extremely high-end animals with his Desert Ghost stuff, and because he does a lot of the DG het pod stuff with OD. And what's funny is I like the dark. I'm the bright side's growing on me, but I love the blackheads, the mahoganies, and he misses all these this bright animals. I'm like, oh, look, another yellow snake. Oh, look, another yellow snake. But when we got into it, he got obsessed with, all right, he's like, his first thing was, I'm gonna make the brightest snake I can get, and it's gonna look good as an adult, and that's all he started focusing on, and that's where
the
we
way
got
to go.
Yeah,
well, and he talked me. Weston tried to talk me into getting Desert Ghost back in 2016, 2017.
when they first got introduced.
And I'm like, I'm old. I don't have time for this recessive crap. So I watched all these videos. He had an orange dream, a super orange dream spider, yellow belly looking stuff that was just beautiful and perfect. So I just started buying those genetics. And little did I know was, well, there are genetics, and then there's different levels of those genetics. And, I went down the road of just buying the genetic, and then, really learning, hey, there are a lot of different variations of these genetics and quality. But it was a fun thing. Yeah, we'd always had animals, and we finally just started breeding, because we wanted to make animals instead of buy them because we're poor and we didn't want to have to. But I mean,
We're stingy with our money.
Pay all this animals for these snakes, and or pay all the money for these snakes. So we'll just breed our own and make our own, and that's what got the whole breeding part for us going. Because I've always had animals, but just not that interested in the breeding part until I was like, hey, we could make our own. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and then we figured out we can't just keep everything. He's a hoarder. He doesn't get rid of anything. It's like freaking taking a ball from a baby that's hungry. It's about impossible. It's pretty bad.
I like the snakes.
Yeah, I know you do.
No.
And that
But
there, the other one
That's definitely Darren. Absolutely.
What I do?
As far as trying to get rid of anything, he's like, oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
because I'm slow at reacting of getting rid of anything because I watch it grow and it
Yeah.
changes and it looks nice and it's like,
Yes.
That's his thing.
yeah, see,
And most
you
tiny
can't keep
little
everything,
buckets,
but
about 300
man,
grams.
Yeah.
you try.
Yeah, and he'll be like, I'm running a rec space, but I want to pretty well use the clutches. I'm like, well, you got to sell stuff first. And he's like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, well, I can't help you, man. I mean, we can do all these shows, but if you take them on the show and you're like, I don't know if I want to sell this or not, I'm like, that doesn't help us. We need the space.
Now with Muscle and Geeks, what other businesses are you? Is this the primary business, or do you have any other businesses you run as well?
No, we don't have any other businesses. I'm actually looking at starting to do this full time or try to get to where it's like a part-time business part for me. Where me and my wife are about to have our first child, and yeah, great big enough for yeah, and I'm wanting to be able to where it replaces her.
My last name, sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
Well, if you've been in it for a while, I'm sure you know Limey.
Oh yeah, we know Limey.
Oh, my
I've got a couple
Yeah.
of snakes from Limey.
Yeah, we know Limey.
Yeah, Limey.
Charlotte.
Yeah, I remember walking up to Limey, talking to Limey, and he had
Say the cinnamon word.
yeah, I was asking him about cinnamon, which one he liked was cinnamon or black pastel, and he was like, "Don't talk to me about this. I don't want to have this conversation." He just walked off, and I'm like, "I was just seeing which one you like better, man."
Yeah, we all got crazy Limey
stories.
stories.
Oh yeah.
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 No more drinking with Limey.
But that's interesting.
Oh, my gosh.
that was hilarious.
Yeah,
I
you
thought
say
he
so.
was gonna I went. Limey looked him straight up his face. I was like,
No, I couldn't do it. I think I would have had to leave on that one.
Oh man, Limey was about to leave Earth on that one.
Yeah.
no.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, oh my god.
So
you did it.
what numbers are you working with? How many snakes are in your program?
Right now, this is the cool thing about us. We got started when he was living here, and he is a grown adult now and has his own place and doing his own thing. So, like I said, we have a very diverse collection when you put us together. He works with the very dark genes. I work with the real bright genes, and I'm probably counting as far as my collection that I'm growing and breeding. I'm probably running around about 120, roughly.
If you count hatchlings.
Well, I'm not counting
Okay,
hatchlings.
yeah.
I mean, if
Yeah,
I count all my hatchlings I have too, which you got to take care of those, I've got about 180 right now.
And
So,
and then I got about six. Then I got 60 at my house.
yeah, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, but so a lot of people don't realize when they talk to us about stuff is so I run the Instagram and he runs the Facebook.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
yeah. So and that way we can kind of we're making sure we're on top of everything on both sides of it. And what a lot of people don't realize is I miss my snakes are my snakes, his snakes are his snakes.
Right. Yeah, his snakes are trash. They don't touch them.
But I mean, I got a couple of snakes of his in my rack, so I'm starting to like his stuff. But
And
I'll take some DG if he feels willing to hand me something and put in my rack. I'm not going to complain about it.
we're
You
starting
can't
to,
go wrong with DG right now.
No, you can't.
And we're starting to do a few joint pairings. It's like we've got a blackhead phantom het hypo that we paired to a blackhead. I'm sorry,
No,
paired to
Inchy.
Inchy Desert Ghost that turned out to be het hypo because we got hypo blackhead Inchy phantoms out of the clutch, all hit DG.
Yep.
Growing, we that was a very good clutch for
I
us.
think that was in 2021 when we did that one.
Yeah, we're growing up a female from that.
Yep.
We repeated that pairing, and we're also doing some more. We're really gonna over the next year or two, we're really gonna start combining the combos to get the dark because it's growing on me. I mean,
No,
at least my snake doesn't change as an adult, Dad. Mine looks great, and yours brown out. So
He's right.
I'm like, hey.
hey, I mean, as more darkness you got, less black little black spots that come through. So, but no, we got a blackhead right now. Hopefully, beginning next year, the black kid phantom inchy hypo het DG girl we got. She's sitting about 1,200 grams right now. And she looks fantastic.
Black kid and Inchy look
Yeah.
real good
Yeah,
together.
she's about like a rust red color with some black outline on her. So I need to do an update pick on her. I'm not done one in a while. But so we're wanting to do that, and then he's letting me use a Inchy DG het hypo. I have a 5540 in 3 sections are all het hypo blackheads or visual, some type of visual combo blackhead with hypo in them. And so he's taken to like 5 of those girls. So hopefully we'll be making some het DG visual hypo stuff coming up this next year.
Oh wow! You know, I've seen people gravitate back to hypo lately.
Dude, hypo's just a poor man DG.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. That's what it is. I love hypo. You can't,
I love
man.
hypo too.
It's the
I
one.
like it. Certain genetics.
I do. I love the blackhead hypos. You know, I bought a blackhead hypo male, and I've been breeding them to quite a few females. But yeah, I love it.
Right now, I think I have a blackhead Mojave hypo that he is he's doing a boat pairing for along my pairings right now. But the problem I'm running into is a lot of my other females have the Bell complex, so I'm trying to not make white snakes. And the reason we've not produced so many blackheads from last year or the year before that is because I bought a banana blackhead hypo, het genetic strike, and he did not breed for me at all.
And that's where you learn.
And that's the only backup male I had. I didn't have any other backup males or anything.
Right.
And it shot me right in the foot on that.
How big is that now?
He was a year to year and a half old. He's about 1,000 grams.
Oh wow! That's
Yeah, and that's where we're learning if we're going to breed, you have to have a backup.
Yep.
I mean, you can't just rest. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. Well, you can, but I mean,
it doesn't work out.
It doesn't work out. He hasn't really produced a lot of clutches over the last couple of years. Like people have been asking about some blackhead combos, and we haven't been producing any. And it's not because I'm not going to breed any of them, but
that's what I work with. I'm kind of like over and
I was trying to get that project going, and that one male laid down on him. That's where you need to have, you better have backup males for the project.
He didn't like. He's still alive. He doesn't want anything to do with the females. Like he doesn't want to pair at all. And he's 3 years old.
Oh wow!
And there was some. We had a little issue that may have caused something to go on. But
we had a little issue with shipping. I'm not mentioning the breeder. Me and the breeder are really good friends still. It was a complete accident. It got held over in Indianapolis. Nothing. And that's completely out of his control. Shipping sucks.
We especially going through, and Memphis is the worst. Is Memphis better or Indianapolis is better?
I think
I like Memphis better because
Memphis is better. Indianapolis
is overnight. They get stuck.
Every time we sent anything through, like anything that's been late, it's been Memphis stuff.
Yeah.
It's missed the plane, hadn't got it on the plane.
But everything's been going through Memphis lately for us here.
Everything goes through pretty much up through Memphis. But Memphis is the biggest, and then Indianapolis is second.
I know. When we had them going through Indianapolis, there were more issues. Definitely. I agree.
It's just shipping. Is, I'm like a long cat and room full of rocking chairs when anything gets shipped out. It's like, anyway, so I'm not going to fuss.
But what happened was the male got stuck 2 knots in Indianapolis, and it got down to like 30 to 28 to 30 degrees. And when I got him, he's about froze to death.
Well,
and like I said,
the breeder took care of us.
Yeah.
They say, hey, dude, you don't got to take this animal. This is all my mistake. And, that's where you find good people that do this.
Flammy just said put him to combo with another male. I've actually done that. I put him in with a male and a female, and the other male I put him with was only 800 grams where he was 1,000. So I knew they wouldn't, where he's not aggressive at all. He wouldn't get the crap beat out of him. And he didn't care. He curled up in the corner like he always does, and the other male locked up with that female. So I was like, well, that doesn't even work.
Holy crap. That's a new one.
But
there was he when we got him in, he was a little off.
Yeah, he had
neurologically something kind of happened.
Yeah, something happened. Like I said, it's not the breeder's fault. It's part of shipping sometimes.
Yeah, the breeder made
the breeder, of course, he made it right. I'll still talk to him. I still consider him a good friend today. I'll talk to him and stuff. I still buy from him today too. Gotcha. So it was just a freak accident.
One of those shipping things.
Yeah.
sadly.
Wow.
But yeah, so I'm sorry.
I'm just the shipping thing, and I'm gonna go off on this for a second. It's like I love it. I will answer all your questions, any questions, anytime I can, as quick as I can. And people are quick to respond. Has anybody else experienced this? It's like when you ship the animal, the person's normally blowing up your phone asking about stuff, and then
They
probably
just
about
They
75% of
just
the time you get
disappear.
it's
Yeah.
like, where did you get it?
did
Is it
you get
okay?
it?
Just I mean, anyway, but
I'm
the
so
last
sorry.
few animals I've shipped, I've
Yeah,
gotten no good response.
we actually ship a ton. This is the second kind of startup business, Flawless Exotic Creations. We kind of running with Flawless Crested Geckos, and we ship a ton. And the same thing happens like that all the time. I mean, they're nonstop. You're responding back and
Yeah,
forth. As soon as you drop off the FedEx, it's
yeah,
like crickets, and
yeah.
hey, we're checking the tracking numbers, and it's still not picked up, and we're like,
Right,
what's going on? Hey, hello, respond.
right.
Yeah, it's like we're not trying to be annoying that part. It's like, guys, we just care about the animal. We make sure our animal's okay when you have somebody come get it and send it back to us. Like
Exactly.
that's all we're trying to figure out.
And that's why I really I shipped an animal to Darren, and he sent me a picture back and said, hey, she's here, she's wonderful. So anytime I get that, I really appreciate it, and I
Oh,
try
yeah.
to do that to other breeders as well.
Absolutely.
Whenever I'm doing shipping, I'll take a pic, say, hey, here it is, wonderful, love it, here we go.
Oh yeah, the biggest decision of buying not just your animals, but when I met you at Tinley,
Mhm.
man, you really actually gave me a conversation instead of just kind of brushing by, or
Right.
not say anything and look at the other side of the table.
Yeah,
That really meant a lot to me.
go over there,
Right,
check
right,
them out.
and that's what going to shows is all about. Going to shows. Yeah, I mean, it's like we're going to do Daytona in a couple of weeks, and I'm
Nice.
excited
We'll be
about
down there
going.
with you. We'll be there
Oh,
with you.
good.
Well, you'll see him. I couldn't get off work, so you'll be
Oh,
seeing him. Yeah.
Yeah, we're me and some buddies. We got a end cap.
Well, Paco and Chris.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know y'all know Paco.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Paco,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah. This is his first show vending, and we're Chris Hernan is a real good friend of ours. Chris Hernan Reptiles, and we're all gonna go down to Daytona and set up and see what happens. But of course, I want to move some animals, but just the conversations, getting to know people, talking to
Yeah.
people, that's part of this hobby as well. I was on the other side of the table for a lot of years, and finally, or getting to where we're back behind the tables now. It's just a
But if you're gonna
different
be down there with
experience.
Chris Hernan and you like bright stuff, man,
Oh
you
yeah.
better
Oh
come home with
No.
well,
some more
and
high OD.
the way I met Chris was very
I
interesting.
love this story. It's funny.
Laugh. I'm in. Okay. I didn't like Desert Ghost. I'm in the Desert Ghost now, big time. I mean, I'm doing a ton of DG pairings, DG pods, DG clowns, DG. I like the kryptons. Really like the kryptons better than the cryptics, simply because you can get either or. It's a little more.
You'll never make a normal
Yeah, you
mistake.
never make it's something normal if you put it to a clown or a cryptic. Anyway, but I didn't want to go that route. I wanted to go Orange Dream because I thought Orange Dream were the coolest thing, because I saw Ozzy's posts and it was like, okay, yep, this is what I want. And I remember I bought some Howdies from Ozzy, and they looked good, loved them. And then I saw this guy post this video, and I had a buddy of mine call me and say, hey, dude, this guy's calling you out on YouTube. I was like, dude, what are you talking about? And he said, dude, you should check this out. And if anybody comes to shows, you've seen his name's Mike Reed. He does Blockers BALLZ. He's
Long friend. Yeah.
he's with us all the time. But he's like, dude, this guy's calling you on Facebook, and I looked it up, and Chris posted this video about high OD, and it says, hey, if it doesn't look like this, then it's probably not high OD. And I just posted some stuff on Morph Market where I bred my males and got some high OD stuff, and
We got the howdy for our first line of howdy from Ozzy.
yeah.
So
Right.
and it looked good. Like don't get me wrong, they look really good, but they didn't look like Chris Hernan howdies. And
And he got on there and said, if it doesn't look like this, then it's probably not high OD. And his animal was like, so
Right.
and And it kind of, it kind of torqued me off because I was like, who does this guy think he is getting out here saying if it don't look like this thing, it's not how
Oh,
it is?
he he talked about this for 3 days about how about how this guy called him out, and I'm like, no one called you out. I'm like, you're taking this way too
I
personal, man.
wasn't I wasn't. Yeah, I was. I was pretty aggravated.
Yeah, you were.
And I had some friends of mine, chasing balls at the time. Brittany, Smoke is her name, and Robbie Chase. They invited me to go to Tinley, and Jonathan. Can't forget Jonathan.
Yes.
They invited me to go to Tinley with them, and I went to Tinley. And my whole purpose was to go.
By the way, he left me behind on our first Tinley go. I had to work, and they invited him, and he didn't even tell me about it.
Oh wow!
No, you didn't tell me about this one. You were like,
well, I couldn't bring you.
I was sure. That's a good excuse. Yeah, sure. Keep going with your story. I saw a jab, and I stuck it.
Hey, it's getting the name out there, getting the brand out there. That's all that counts.
But I went to Tinley to basically confront this guy because I was looking at his videos, looking at his pictures, and they're obviously doctored up, and saw other people talking about how he doctors his photos and all that kind of stuff. And I was gonna go take my phone. You know how Burger King has that picture behind you, and you got that burger, and it looks like that, and then when you get your plate, it's like, what is that?
Yeah,
it's like that don't look nothing like that, So anyway, so I was ready. He was my nemesis. I was ready to go take it to him. Now I wasn't gonna get hostile or pick a fight or anything like that, but I didn't know crap. But I was gonna call him out, and I went there. I looked at his table, and I just stood there for a good 30 minutes, didn't say a word. Those animals were gorgeous. They were insane. Not only did I not say a word to him, but I spent every dollar I had.
He ended up calling me, and he was like, these are better in person. I'm like, well, did you say something to him? He's like, yeah, we're best friends now.
No, because at the time, who's this dude hanging around?
Well, the reason y'all became best friends because you gave him like $5,000 the first day you met him.
I did buy one of his racks that he bought that day.
Yeah, you did.
But I spent every dime I had with him, and I have. It's like I tell people, when you get into Orange Dream, especially high intensity, be sure. Ozzy's got phenomenal stuff. The last two high ODs I bought from Ozzy, so I still buy my high OD from Ozzy. But it's got to look stellar, and me and Chris really got to become good friends, and I've actually went up to his house a couple times, and I'm getting ready to go up there in a couple weeks. But
bring me back some snakes
anyway. But it was so much fun to get to know him. That's something fun about this industry and this hobby as well. I went to somebody to confront them, but the animals that they had looked just as good as what they said. I understand why he said what he said. And we actually had a conversation about that, and he laughed about it because he's like, no, I wasn't even talking about your stuff. He was talking about some other guy that was advertising IOD stuff. And
telling me two parts
anyway, but it was real fun. And I've reset my Orange Dream game 3 times now, and I'm finally starting to breed. Matter of fact, I'm breeding some high ODs I've got from Chris, and very excited about that. My last clutch just hatched out was a high OD Fire Inchy bred to a pastel DG het clown, and got some really nice animals out of that clutch. So no, of course, nothing visual DG or clown, but these are the most. It's really, really cool to have beautiful hets. To have animals that you're just excited about in the het form as you are, trying to get it in Desert Ghost or clown.
Yeah.
That's also, as with age, they get better, and then you don't see that brown out.
No. I've got some now. Even in high OD, there are some variations, just like anything else. But for the most part, a lot of the high OD stuff, you put it down. Like I have an OD het DG 66% het pod I've got right now that I'm starting to pair. And when I put that next to my single gene ODs, you can look at them and say they're different.
Are you doing any testing, or are you just old school proving it out?
Oh, I'm testing all the way. I'm too old to try to prove it out. I don't have time to raise something up for 2 years, 3 years, hope it breeds, hope it lays. hope it hatches.
Very
You know, it's
smart.
like right now I'm having some bad luck with a couple of clutches that's hatching out.
Yeah,
And
sucky side of breeding.
it's just all part of it.
Yeah.
But if I was waiting on some of these clutches to try to prove some stuff out, I'd be waiting another 12 months
Now,
to figure
while
it out.
we're on that, have you had that issue that they spoke about with DG yet, where you bred?
I've never bred visual and got a non-visual. I
Okay.
haven't. But I'm also
What about head to head?
Head to head.
Oh yeah, yeah. I haven't done head to head. Now I've got a spot nose, yellow belly, or specter het DG girl that I bred to my Super OD DG het pod boy, and I got one clutch, I think 8 eggs, and only got one visual desert ghost. And I was like, okay, maybe that was just bad odds. Got another bred. I did the same pairing because I actually sold that visual spot nose DG or spot nose OD DG, and I was like, I'll make another one, and I did another pairing and got 7 or 8 eggs, 0 visuals.
No visuals.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, what horrible odds. But it makes sense now that evidently she has something, or she doesn't have something that the male's not giving her. So, and I've already signed up. And I've been genetic testing now for a little while, just with the het pod part, because I've got those OD DG clutches, and I don't want to sell something 50% het when I can get it proved out het. Then that's
more valuable.
That changes the value of that animal considerably. Plus, if I want to keep it as a whole backer. So I've been doing that, but yeah, I'm sitting in some sheds now, and where they did that little deal where they'll test your sheds for free.
Oh yeah.
You can send in 2.
Yeah, we've done that.
And I plan on doing a lot of genetic testing. It's like we were talking about. I think people can go old school with the DG part, but I think if you're really going to be in the OD game or in the DG game, and you really want to be somebody that is I don't want to say respectable, but like, for example, I'm going to test a bunch of my adults, and if I've got some that are heterozygous for or homozygous for the A, B, and C, well, then I can tell you, my offspring, if it's a het, will be het A, het B, and 50% het C.
And that's also going to help with the value and process of hets for DG later down the road, because people are going to. It's not that you're going. I wouldn't say people are going to want to know that, because they're going to know, hey, do I need to put a visual only to this one, or can I do a head to head and actually still get something out of it?
And not just the monetary value, but just knowing,
helping people out.
If somebody's wanting to buy a het, they know what they're getting. They're going to know, okay, this one's het A, 50% het B, and I'm not going to say no chance having C, but because I don't know how that works yet. But I want to do that with my adults, just so. And I'm not going to do it yet till they get this thing proved out, because I've already had some sheds tested twice, and it gets a little expensive when you start getting sheds. And so it's like, when y'all figure out what I was in this thing, then I'll start sending sheds to get tested. But like now, the het clown, the het pod, I'll do all that. The het DG part, I'm waiting until they get that kind of ironed out, because I just don't have $200 to send in the same shed, 3 different.
Right. And then there's multiple companies popping up now,
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they have Gray Rider Reptiles.
Okay.
They're up out of New York, and they may not test. I don't know if they test DG yet, but they're running like sales where they have hypo. They test for hypo, whether it's OG or Ghost, it's like $35 a shed.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, that's a whole other.
Ultramel. They got a bunch of different.
Albino and lavender also.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need the lavender one.
To see the
I could use that one
out there. Oh yeah, check it out. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely something to check out.
So, being that you guys have basically 2 facilities, 2 operations running under the same umbrella, like
pretty much
who structures the collabs? Like, okay, well, this is your male, this is my female. You may want something to go one direction with this female, and he may want something.
So this is where it helps being father and son. He's my dad. I don't care. He's helped me get a lot of my stuff I got, so I can't really I'm not saying like, oh, I deserve I'm going to help him out wherever I
He's
can.
a millennial, but he don't act like
No, no.
And I'm sorry to any millennial out there that may get offended by that, but I'm just saying.
No.
He don't need bubble tape.
No, not at all. Especially with what I do for work. If I had that, I couldn't survive. But anyways,
For the most part, we've kept our collections pretty separate.
Yeah.
We really don't do a lot of that now. For example, the pairing we did with the Blackhead Phantom, and he took the Inchy DG boy that I had and got a really good clutch and sold a lot of animals out of that clutch. I didn't want anything from him on that.
Yeah.
Now the female that we got out of that the black.
She's at my house just because she's black, and I just want to see her grow up. But
but basically, I called dibs on her.
Yeah, he called dibs because
if snake, but I'm going to breed it.
If it wasn't for his male, I mean, there would be no Inchy or head DG into that. So it's like, hey, go for it. And if there's something out of that, we kind of, from what we've talked about, we always talk about, hey, you want to sell this one or you want to keep it? And then we kind of just come to a mutual agreement. Or and then
it's not so much of a business to where I want to make sure I get my money back.
Yeah.
From him. It's like when he sold all those snakes, he needed to put his animal. He needed to get his animals out of my house.
He wanted me to get my animals out of his house.
I did because I was in a room. Because I was thinking, look, all his room I'll get when he gets out of here. So I loved it. But all the sales he made off that, he just put towards buying.
Yes.
Right. And it's like we've got a few joint clutches coming up right now. Basically, if we want to keep something, we'll keep it. If not, we'll sell it and split it 50-50.
Yeah. I think we've got 2 clutches in the conveyor right now.
2 more coming.
Yeah. So I'm excited about one of them. We did your super OD DG het pod to a Mojave leopard het pod.
Oh wow!
So I'm just excited about that one because
I'm good about throwing the pod gene. So.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that because I love the OD Mojave leopard stuff, and if we get some pods in there, that's going to be even better. But what helps me out is he's a hoarder, so I can be like, hey, we need to keep this for a reason, and he'll be like, okay, yeah, that sounds great. Yeah.
So, as far as rack space, how many racks are you running? Do you face space issues, or what's the planning behind it?
So I have the ARS racks at my house.
Okay.
And it's my lovely wife was great for letting me do this because the deal was when I got these, they were supposed to go out into a really nice building, and I kind of just like snuck them into a bedroom, and that's where they've been for the past 2 years. So no, it's been 2.
Oh wow!
But yeah, no, and so they're still there, but my problem right now is I need more hatchling room because that's like adult. Well, I also need adult, but I'm kind of out of room. But his situation, he has a half the garage built off into a snake room. So
that's me.
Yeah, I wish I had that still, but because all I'm running is a 5540, and then I have a little male breeder rack, and then I have some, and then I have a 1065. So
and where are you guys based out of?
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
wow.
but and then he does. Actually, he doesn't do the racks. So no, well, I think it's pretty cool. So he does
frugal.
Yeah,
I've bought racks twice now, and both time I bought racks, they went to Ozzy for double dose IOD clown girls. So yeah, I'm very frugal. Early on, I did ambient. I run room ambient for mine.
Yep.
And I don't have any heat tape on my stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So basically, what I have my animals in are totes with locking lids, and they sit on these metal racks. I probably got less than $3,000 in my whole room as far as rack systems.
Racks.
Wow.
You save a lot in electricity.
Adults. Oh yeah, and now I have a very unique system on how I monitor the airflow and monitor the room temp. I have a vortex going in the room where I've got a fan blowing
it's
up.
called the freaking. We call it the Death Star. It's a massive fan to where me and him both can stand in front of it, hitting both of us just fine.
But it circulates air through the room real good, and I've got sensors all placed all around the room, so I check for hot spots. I run about between 0.8 and 0.4 degree difference between the top and bottom. So I run my room around 85.5 to 80, probably 85.5 to 85.9. And I can keep it that tight as far as my temps. And I've done that forever. I haven't had any problems with hatchlings or breedings or, males or feedings or anything. Girls, ovulating. It's like we're kind of doing a little experiment with him to see if he has better luck with his females, because he's got some cool sides and hot sides, because he does the whole, the hot spots, and just to see if we have a little better success with breeding.
This year, it's not from, me being lazy on pairing. It's just I have a bunch of brand new year to year and a half males that are either just starting to lock up or not, or they're not ready to from the maturity wise. And he's blowing me on the one on clutches right now. So I think I got like 3, and he's got one.
We're not big producers anymore.
No, we might do like maybe 15 clutches a year.
And that's combined.
Yeah, that's combined. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really breed that much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't. And it's not that it's like this year. Gosh, this year I could have probably pumped out 20, 30 clutches, but
that's just I have a whole 55, 30 full of females I could have done.
Well, and it's not that it's like some pairings that I haven't done. It's just because the market's the way it is, and I don't want to just produce a bunch of animals that I think's pretty, but I haven't a place to put them, and then I don't really have a good place to move them, and that's what kind of got us going into the vending part of it. Was we were producing some animals, and I'm like, what do we do with these? We've got a whole bunch here, and it's like, what do we, we're out of room, dude. I mean, we've got them stacked here, stacked over here, crammed over here. It's like, what do we do with these things? So we were very fortunate. We got in with Robbie and Brittany. They allowed us to vend with them a little bit, and they kind of got our foot in the water for vending. And then
Bob also helped us out. Bob
Boo's a
yeah.
huge, he we've known Bob a long time, and he came up beside us, said, hey, here, if you're going to do it, here's what it needs to look like. Here's what you need to do. And he was a good mentor on getting us started on the vending part of it.
Yeah, because I remember Bob, he vended in Knoxville one time, and I went and helped him vend, and I got it was like a little cheap snake. I pretty much worked for a snake, and that's kind of when we started really getting into the vending part of it, because I was like, oh, this isn't hard, and I really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's how we kind of got into it. And then, of course, Brittany and Robbie, they helped us out a lot. Like they got us to go to shows 4 to 6 hours away.
And just able to take our animals.
Yeah, and just put it on the table. And, they were happy to do that.
Yeah, and we just did it under their name, which was very, very nice.
Yeah, it's really cool when you finally meet some of the people that you interact with online, or maybe that you watch or anything, they end up really being genuinely good people.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And that's how I got, I'm starting to, vending Tinley. I'm actually, piggybacking off Chris on that. He's a good friend, and he was like, hey, dude, you want to come vend with me? I'd love to have you here. So, like I said, Nemesis turned great customers, turned into great friends, turned into vending buddies, and we're actually, we've got our wives to meet each other, and everybody gets along great, and which is wonderful. And it's like our plan is we're about the same age, we're in our mid 50s, and retirement's coming around the corner, and we'd like to maybe do some shows, take the wives, and go have some fun in some different cities, and try to recoup a little money that they spend during the day and have some fun, have some fun with something that we love.
Yeah, I'm like cheap.
I just acquire what we need. That's all.
I'm so cheap. He's always giving me a hard time because it's like, go spend some money on yourself.
Yeah, she do it.
Right.
If I want her inside, I got to go get her something. Like, babe, you look good in this. But it is what it is. So, feeding your collection, are you guys producing your rodents or?
Sadly, yes.
Unfortunately, we got to the place to where, having our own, especially with babies,
Yeah, you have.
because
Yeah.
if you're going to produce and you're going to have clutches and they're sitting there, because we started out with frozen thawed everything, and I'm sitting here going, my baby won't eat. And come to find out, well, you need to feed live, and then you need to have different variety of live at that.
Right.
So, but yeah, that got us into the guy we were buying rats from was getting out of it, and then that got us into rats, and now us and 4 other people,
2 other people.
well, counting me,
Yeah.
you, I count
Yeah,
me,
4.
Mike,
Yeah,
and
there's 4 of us. Yes.
got a buddy, Corey with
Red Hills
Red
up.
Hill Exotics.
Yeah.
He's got a big barn that we have a big. It's a what is it 20? I think it's a 12 by 40 barn,
Oh wow.
and it's stacked full. Yeah, we each have our own little section.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that works
So,
out
yeah.
great.
it does,
Yeah.
it does, and that's where we all take care of our own little section. Like my buddy Mikey, he gets off early. He'll go by there and check food and check water and make sure everything looks pretty good. He's kind of the dad of the group as far as making sure we're all taken care of. And but yeah, I've definitely been breeding now. Breeding ASFs are not illegal in Tennessee, so we have ASFs proudly, and mice. So mice are wonderful too. But yeah, so we breed everything.
Yep.
Wow. That's a huge
That saves a lot.
Well, and that's why I love like podcasts. I mean, that's what saves me while I am cleaning, because I savor the time to me, because it's so much fun anyway. But you put in some headphones, you put in a good podcast, and you listen to. You get motivational while you're doing it.
Mhm.
It's like I know. Oh crud, Chris Eaton is
Eating
he,
snake
Oh,
and a fat
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
he put a post where he's having to dealing with some medical issues right now, and
Yeah.
I just sent him a message. I love listening to his show. Listening to his show keeps me from doing rats and inspires me to keep cleaning. I don't want to kill them all. I want to clean them. And that's why I love finding new shows like this podcast here. I don't podcast the right term for it. Forgive me, I'm old, so I call everything a podcast. It's like my grandson.
Pretty much, yeah.
calls everything an iPad. So,
Yeah.
An iPad.
but I love listening to that stuff, or listening to these shows while we're cleaning. It helps pass the time, and reminds me I love what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing.
Right, and then every once in a while you also learn, something new.
Oh,
something-
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
Especially
yeah.
something new.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Audra's hardest part. She's like, "Oh, you always watching these videos." So sometimes it takes you 2 hours of video to find that 30 seconds that you didn't know. I'm like, "Oh,
Right.
Hey,
Yep.
I'll clip them. I'll stop. I'll clip them and save them and put them in my
Yeah.
phone. It's done.
Yeah.
All right, now I need to go back. I'm
Yeah.
bad like that, I guess.
I do have a hard time paying attention. Like with me, if
That's the woman brain, baby.
I
Like,
get in there, I'll get in the facility and I'll be cleaning, or I'll be out there with the rats cleaning. And like, if I have something on, it's cool, but I'm not taking in anything because I'm so focused on.
Woman brain.
So you clean the rats?
Oh yeah.
I need you to talk to my wife, because I have. She
That's
said,
the
"How can I
only
help
way
you
they
with
get
this?"
done.
Yeah.
She said, "How can I help you with this?" I said, "Well, you can clean rats," and she just gives me this stare of, I just said something foreign to her. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. She does a
I
good
didn't have.
job.
Well, that's cool.
She does a good job.
I like the rats. So
And it's kind of odd, but you do you get like your little favorite drawers and
Oh,
and,
she does. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't sit and call them. I don't give them names or anything, but I
did.
definitely appreciate what they do for me. So I don't just look at them as, and they actually don't like being nasty. They like being very clean. I have gained a little respect for the rodents, as far as just their little personalities a little bit, and what to do for us. So,
Oh
you
yeah,
know, it's like
absolutely.
I've had people say, how can you feed your snake that? It's like, well, if it ate corn, you know, I feed it corn, but it won't eat corn. So you know, that's
Hey,
the only thing I can do.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm like selectively breeding these things too. So
Yes.
just like the snakes, I keep the best ones. Those are my breeding stock.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's
yeah.
good
We
go.
got our, we feed our snakes gourmet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when we first got into it, I kind of like I did all the rats when they were before we moved over to our buddy's house, and I had
participate in rat
yeah, I
food,
can
so you
yeah
give it up to labor.
yep, and I had one that I love this thing. Every time I was in Europe, she'd rub my arm and I always wear a shirt with a pocket, and she'd get in my shirt pocket, and
Oh
she'd just chill
wow.
out there. And that's the only rat that I got attached to. Like when she got like I think she was like 8 months to a year old, I took her out of there. I put her on a little 10-gallon tank. I gave her like really like I'll give her peanut butter, all that stuff, and I that you can get really easily attached to them. And then I started feeding off her babies, and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it well, the first one that I had was a feeder fail because it was before we even started like doing rodents at all. And
Yeah.
I was like, you cannot feed him. You cannot feed him. And so I just like took him and he's in our house. Like he has a rat condo.
Well,
Like
they're really smart too.
he is a full. Oh yeah, he'll pop up on my shoulder and ride around, and he comes to his name. Like he got out in the house one time while I was cleaning, and yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like walking through the house. I'm like, Stuart, and he was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, and I said,
Yeah.
come here, Stuart, and he comes up to me like, okay.
Yeah. The
He's
one
like,
I
I'm
had,
safe.
she had one ruby eye and the other one just a normal kind of like the brown black eye that they have, and I called her Ruby, and I don't she didn't know her name or nothing like that, but I mean she knew when I was in there she was going to get out. Like she would leave her babies and she'd go
Yeah,
straight to that end of that tub. She's like, get me out.
yeah. Yeah, that's Stuart. He knows when I come. He loves me. And then now I have my favorite drawer out in the actual rodent area, and I have a Templeton. But that's the only one I've named thus far. So I have a Stuart and a Templeton.
Wow.
But yeah.
So
Should breed them one time.
he said you should breed them one time.
Throw them out there for a little bit and pull them back out.
No.
So
Stuart is living the life
The
of
life.
luxury, sir. He gets
Oh, so he's bougie.
he
He's
is
too good to go out there with the other rats.
like
Yeah.
I don't know that he would even. I mean, he'd be like, I don't know what you think this is.
Say wow.
This ain't life. That. Yeah, no.
So what's been the biggest obstacle you guys have faced thus far while breeding or planning?
Money, being my stuff.
That's probably a two-part question.
Yeah.
Like for me, I have been battling the fine line between looking at this as a legit, you know, business and the hobbyist. I mean, I'm still a pet owner. I'm still a hobbyist. I mean, I'm not going to say every animal I have out there I consider a pet. I have one animal out there that I don't care if she ever does anything. It was one I produced. I always wanted a super orange dream fire. I saw one on Morph Market when I first started looking at Morph Market and wanted it so bad I couldn't stand it. And I produced her, and she's gorgeous. She's not high intensity. But she's a beautiful animal. She's not a great eater. Don't care. I'll always have her. But just that fine line between, okay, I need to get rid of you. I need to get rid of you. I need to get rid of you because I'm not going to do anything with you. And just finding that. And then also, you know, when you do keep everything, you run into it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm really tired. I still
Right.
have, you know, 5 or 10 or 10 other tubs to clean, and it can get very overwhelming. And just finding that good medium for me to where I look at it as, yes, it's a hobby, but at the same time, you know, there is some legitimate income that you can make from this, especially with some of the projects that we have been blessed enough to get and work with. It's like the Desert Ghost pod project wasn't something that I tried to get into. I was just very blessed to buy an animal that was a Posset Super OD and a POS het, 50% het pod, and he proved out to be super OD and pod and het
Oh,
pod,
wow.
and he proved out to be het pod with an animal that I purchased that I had no idea it was even pod or it was even het pod. I just wanted to make some super orange string fires, and I opened up the clutch or opened up my clutch box, and I see 2 pods, and I'm like, is this the right clutch?
Because I like the pods, and he was like, I think I opened. You got stuff hatching early. I was like, I'd be happy to take them.
But so very, 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 very blessed. Very thankful to the Lord for blessing me with that opportunity to have that caliber of animal. But having that caliber of animal, it's like I could really change my family tree with this.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, it's a hobby, but the level of animals that we're getting into now, it's like this really isn't a game anymore. Or it's I can't just be wishy-washy about this, or why have all this stuff? Why have all the stress of dealing with the animal or dealing with as much? Even if I didn't vend and didn't do anything, I would still have a smaller collection. I would still breed animals.
Yeah.
I would still have fun with this. But I'm at the place now with it to where I'm kind of pushing for that next level to be able to look at it as not necessarily a replacement income for what I already have, but another source of income.
Right.
And to be able to not have to worry so much about retirement. Not saying I'm got everything based out there on retirement. I'm smart enough to get my 401 all that stuff, but just having another source of income. So just having that fine line for me on keeping it fun, but yet keeping it aggressive and moving forward for me.
Hey, this could be also your other retirement plan.
Oh, yeah, and that's what I've looked at. I've looked, if I can. I don't want to depend on it, but I'm definitely when you're looking at like right now, I've got a girl. I'm doing the last lock on her. She's it's one I produced. It's an orange dream yellow belly pod or yellow belly pastel pod het desert ghost, and I'm pairing her to my super orange dream desert ghost het pod. And I ultrasounded her. She's at like 35 millimeters, and she's got at least 6 eggs in her. And Ozzy just got through posting some super OD yellow bellies desert ghosts for what, 17.5.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot more than all my 3 kids' first cars put together.
Yeah. For me,
but just finding that balance for me.
Yeah. For me right now, it's trying to figure out I guess what I want to do with it, because I have an opportunity with I can either take this stuff and go shows and actually try to do something with it and make it more of a job than it is a hobby. And
Right.
then another part of my thing with it is trying to figure out what genetics I want to further my projects with. Because I can make black cat hypos all day long and be happy with just hatching out black cat hypos, but you could hatch out, but you have to keep progressing and going in this hobby slash market, however you want to say it, to stay relevant and for people to keep looking at your stuff and buying it, because just because you reproduce the same thing over and over again it gets old. Yeah, people want to see something new all the time, and they want to see what you're wanting to do with it. And where I'm at right now in my life, I'm about to have my first kid, and so it's like I can't take money that I would want to invest into animals, because it's like I have to be responsible and be adult for some reason. I don't want to grow up, but I got to. But to keep going with it all and kind of figure out where I could take the Muscle and Geeks brand name to, or take some of his animals to shows that where he can stay home and he's still making money. So
Right.
trying to find how I can do that without taking away a bunch of time from my family.
Make it a family affair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring her along.
Oh, I'm trying. She's 7, about 8 months pregnant right now, and she has no desire.
And that's where I want to keep moving forward in my project, so that way we can go do some of the other shows, some of the bigger shows.
Right.
Chris and I can go out and do, and whoever else wants to come. But I mean, we can do these shows, and we already know that our spouses get along real good, And like they like when I go up and hang out with Chris, they bonded real good, and they go out and we try to find them from time to time. Say, hey, where y'all at? While we're getting back together. So yeah, time to eat. But just finding that balance.
Yeah, between hobby and if we want to make it a business or not. That's where we're at, honestly, because we've
I'm
been
in the
doing
same
it.
boat,
Yeah,
but going more business.
yeah, that's where we're kind of leaning right now. I'm kind of dragging him to the business side of it.
Me and my wife we didn't have an argument about this yesterday, but we had a passionate discussion. Yeah, I mean, and that's but
Yeah.
I guess I don't look at what I do yet as a business. And she's like, well, what you do is a business. I don't see why you're not saying it's not a business. Well, and it's like, yes, it is, but no, it isn't, because I'm not,
it's not an income that's consistent.
Well, not just that, but it's like, I've got animals that I haven't even ultrasounded them this year. I haven't even paired them this year. Why do I have them? Because they're pretty and I produce them and I just like them. So it's like I was talking to Weston there. It's like, why have I not paired these females yet? It's like, but it's where I don't just look at, boy, I need to produce, 32 clutches, and I need to be able to produce this. And, that's where, if I'm going to take it and have this business mindset with it, I have to really look at this, like, they're still animals. If you don't have a love for these animals, this is a horrible business thing for you to get into.
Right.
I've had some people that I've met during the COVID boom, as far as what it's being referred to.
I'm not trying to, I just keep talking. Oh, Dawson said you had sorry, that was a buddy, his son. He actually started doing crested geckos. He did the Knoxville show. He's like third or fourth grade, and he started doing crested geckos. He just said, Dawson said, you have to grow up. But I love, he's fun. If y'all ever show and you see Top Notch Boys,
money,
send Dawson, he'll get it for you.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, I went over to their house just to see what's going on, and say hi to him, and he was like, it's $100 to get inside. I'm like, what? He's like, you owe me $100. I'm like, for what? He's like, I don't know, but I bet you do. I'm like, I'm not giving you none. He's like, well, you're not getting the house.
We need him on the team.
All right.
He's one.
Yeah, he's fun. He's just they're top notch. It's Christopher Jackson. He's really good friends with Bob and stuff. So him and you should see when Bob and Dawson get together. Bob will send Dawson to run the table, and Bob just sits back and he doesn't do nothing. Dawson's over here taking snakes out and be like, I got a bag for this. I'll take this much off. He's just it's fun. The one thing I do love about this hobby is the people we met and stuff. So I've made some really good friendships. I just saw that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, same thing happened with us meeting Bob Boo at a show and find out that that was all he did, and told us his whole story and got locked in with him. Been out to his house several times, hanging out with him, and I mean, it's just mind blowing. Watching the whole new facility before it became the facility.
It's impressive.
It's very impressive.
And we like
we've known.
Right.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely.
See, I think Bob, my first purchase for breeding the snake was a Super Mojave, and I think I bought her back in 2014 or 2015. And I mean, I remember I haven't been able to go the past 2 years because of work, but I know we get invited to go to the Friendsgiving and all that stuff for Thanksgiving and all that stuff. And so I think y'all were down there last time when Dad and y'all were there, weren't you? The last year it's just when he moved into his new house and Dad and I was like, man, I'd love to see it. And Dad's like, it is massive. Dad's like, because I believe he has everything just at the house now. He doesn't have 2 facilities anymore, does he?
I think he does, but
does he still? Okay, is there now? I'm about to say that from what Dad was telling me, that house is big enough to where he could have 10 people living with him, not seeing him.
Actually, when he
Bob's going on.
told me about it, it was very surprising because it's like, yeah, you got to come out, and see the facility. Just got the new house, and I'm listening to everything Bob is saying, and he's like, yeah, the facility, it's 5,000, square feet.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's at the house. I'm like, oh wow. So then he proceeds to tell me, and I'm like, God, well, how big is the house? He said, oh,
yeah,
like 6,000 square feet. So I'm like, Wait a minute. So the house is 6,000 and the facility is 5,000. So you got
Yeah.
2,000 living. No, the house is 11,000.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. But the one thing I love about Bob is the most humble person you could ever meet, and
Oh,
you would
yeah.
never expect anything like when you go to his house, and it's like, dude, the way you act, like it's like you live in like 1,000 square foot house. Like he doesn't even act like it's a big deal, and that's one thing I love about Bob. It's he can relate to anybody and everybody, and he makes everybody feel like family.
Absolutely, and he responds there. I mean, we talk all the time, and I mean, we're into the voodoo gene, and
Yeah.
Yep.
after the poor
That
advice
one
on
was
certain
my
things.
idea.
Yeah, that was definitely her idea, and I mean, he's just always been helpful from jump.
Oh yeah, Bob. He loves helping. I
Oh
will
yeah,
say that. I
Yeah,
mean,
he's give us a lot of pointers. Been there, and like I said, we've vended with Bob.
Yep.
Starting out. Just either helping him vend, or he was kind enough to get us a table or two at some other events, and we'd go set up and vend with him. And yeah, Bob's a great guy to have on your team.
when you guys are doing your maintenance and everything, how many how many hours are you guys putting in? I guess taking care of your rodents.
rodents for it takes me 4 hours maybe. Just like completely cleaning, and we probably go every other day for 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay,
So just kind of checking on stuff.
gotcha.
So would you say?
Yeah,
I feel like that's
yeah,
kind of a good rough number.
it probably normally it takes me about a half. About about 4. I think the last thing I did, like I just cleaned this past Saturday. Well, not yesterday, but last week, and I think it was about 5 hours. And but also, that's where I'll sort, pull all the weaned out and put them in a little grow up section, and make sure that I don't have, a bunch of pinkies with a bunch of hoppers, where they get pushed
Right.
around, all that kind of stuff. So
Oh, so
Mhm.
kind of
you
mix.
colony breed?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean, and
yeah.
I don't care to do it a different way. I just don't know. I mean, I've heard of
That's
people
just what we've done since
doing
we've had them.
males and,
Oh, I do
doing,
the same thing. I've heard people doing it
Yeah,
different, but yeah.
I guess.
it works. Why change it?
Well, I mean, for us, yeah, I get if you have one male, you rotate him through, you're feeding less males, this, that, and the other. But man, if you get, I mean, I've got a full-time job,
Yeah, yeah,
and full-time job, 3 grandbabies, one coming, 3 kids, family, spending a lot of good quality time. I've been married for 32 years, and part of that is because I make her a very high priority uh, on my to-do list, and not that this stuff gets leftovers, but I'm going to spend time with my family, and it can be very time consuming. I can just see me having a mail in one drawer and leaving it there and forgetting to, because we have to drive to our rodent facility.
yeah. We
It's
drive
not
probably about
Yeah.
so it's not too far away. We can
maybe
be there
10
in
minutes.
10, 15 minutes. But just having to rotate and do all that would be too much. So
Gotcha.
we just got one male. We run like 1 to 3, 1 to 4.
Yep. That sounds about right. Yeah.
And we get now what we have to do is, and this is where you can't get too wrapped up with your rodents. I got real bad there about not wanting to change colonies.
Yeah, he would ask me to put stuff down for him.
Well,
I'm like,
not just that, but just
You do it.
they got babies, they're fine. But then when X amount of months go by, and all of a sudden you're not feeding all your animals, you're like, oh my gosh, now I've got to buy some stuff to make sure everything gets fed. It's like, oh, I'm spending all this time doing this stuff and I'm not getting my production out. And that's where I had to learn the hard way. You have to
rotate fresh animals in.
So
Gotcha.
Yeah,
and when you get attached to it, it's like, yeah, but she's such a good mom. I hate to put her,
yeah, he does that a lot.
I hate to make her Burmese food. So now that's one thing, nothing goes to waste. We have, I've got a guy that has a local pet store, and I take him all my retired breeders.
Gotcha.
Oh, you don't feed them off?
Oh,
We don't have nothing big enough, honestly. Yeah, that's all we got.
So
Yeah, I got some ball pythons that'll still eat them.
I've got one, but I just acquired it. I would hate to feed that one a large
The bigger females.
jumbo.
Yeah, we might have like a handful, but we don't have enough to where it's like we want to collect, put back in the freezer just a big extra large tub,
Right.
rats and just massive rats. I got a buddy up in Kentucky. He has a bunch of uh retics and all that stuff. So he's gonna start coming down when I'm doing colony change out. He's gonna take all those for me. I'll help him out, and then we got a J&J Reptiles. He'll end up whenever we get a bunch built up for him, we'll sell them to him, provide a good price. Just that way, it helps with his collection and stuff.
Gotcha. So, as far as marketing and online strategy outside of shows, well, what's the approach on that?
Instagram, Facebook,
With
and
Geeks
marketing. Yeah, with us, like, oh, I forgot to post. I'm not posting 3 months.
when we first got into this, I knew we would have to do social media.
Yeah.
I am not a social media person.
I'm young and I don't like it. I don't like it either.
But it's like I created a Facebook page.
It's a learned behavior. I
created a Facebook page just for the hobby. We created a business page just for the hobby. And because one thing I did is when I went on market, like when I was buying animals, when I would go and look at somebody, if I didn't know you, I would go look at your social media.
Yep.
If your social media looked good, if you had 1,000 followers, you were in with me. But I checked to see if you knew what you were doing. I just kind of researched you a little bit. Yeah. And when we got to that point, I said, "Son, we're going to do social media." Yeah. It was like, yeah. And so that's basically pretty much what we do is I try to post. I don't like posting every day. Some people can do that, and that's fine. I'm not saying that that's wrong, and I'm not saying that we don't need to post more, but I try to post about once every 45 days. Something new, something different, just to kind of keep our name out there. Just keep. We have enough animals to where I can throw a couple of good pics out, and try to keep our faces out there where it's continuous but not bombarded. It's like I was following this one guy, and he got to where he was posting like 3 times a day, and it's just like I don't.
It was the same animal. That was funny. I mean, nothing against it. It was just funny. It was like, dude, show something else at least if you're gonna post this 3 times a day.
I don't want to get blown up by one person on posting stuff.
Yeah.
But that's something we need to do better of.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This actually motivated us. We went out and bought some lapel mics, which we're not using today because I'm on call, and I was going to use my phone. But if my phone rings, I didn't want to interrupt the whatever it is.
The live.
YouTube. I'm sorry. I'm old.
The live.
But,
I just let him struggle. I think it's funny.
We never fight at all. I mean,
no, never.
We never.
This is us getting along. That's the funny
part. We actually had a discussion before we got on. We gotta behave halfway.
My wife. So when I think my wife literally said to me before we started doing it, she was like, "Look, you and your dad, when you come off, you seem like y'all are really pissed off at each other. It's like y'all have to be somewhat friendly." I'm like, yeah. We're just like, I'm like, this is how we communicate. She's like, yeah, but it looks really bad when people don't know you well.
He can't help it.
It's like that the motorcycle alteration show with the father and son. They used to make the custom motorcycles.
Oh yeah,
Orange County.
Yes, yes. No, we ain't like that. Yeah.
They legitimately hate each other now. They don't have anything to do with each other.
But one thing that we need to start doing is videos, he's going to be doing more shows.
Yeah.
But since we're not big on the circuits, doing some videos is something that we are probably needing to start doing just to show off our animals. And, unless you come to a show, you don't see.
No.
I do not. Right. I am not that guy that goes like this when the camera comes up.
No.
I'm this guy normally.
I'm just gonna do whatever. Listen, this is our livelihood now. We're 1,000% invested. We're out of law enforcement, and this is it. So you need to see which side of my face you need to see.
Good or bad, it don't matter.
I actually, when y'all sent us the stuff, I saw those follow lists. I was like, oh, they do awesome geckos because sadly, I was wanting to breed geckos, and I don't have the space to do it. So I ended up getting rid of a lot of my breeders and stuff.
Oh,
And well,
You'll grow.
no, yeah, well, get to where I can do it again. I mean, I used to stalk y'all's page all the time to see what you had posted and try to figure out. And I'm like, man, they have some killer geckos, and Dad's like, they're all right.
Well, I mean,
He
I'm learning
he
to appreciate. I'm
he
starting to appreciate
he likes them, but he's like, I don't understand. He's like, they're more complicated than ball pythons are genetic wise. I'm like, that is true. They really are.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just that they're so far behind the ball
Yeah,
python.
I
Yeah.
guess people went along for so long putting just male and female
Just whatever
together
together and
that they
Colony breeding.
going on.
Yes. Yeah, and that was, but no, I mean, but when you sent the link and everything, and I was that's when I messaged. I was
He's like, Dad.
He's like, I know who they I'm like, I really like him and all that stuff because
Cool.
yeah, it's like that's really cool, yeah, and but like I mean, I think y'all had like some of the Xanthic stuff and all that stuff. I love the Xanthic crested. I thought those were awesome when y'all started producing those.
Oh yeah.
This is where he's fanboying out right now. He's
Oh
fanboying
yeah, I had to
out.
get it out. I had to get it out real quick.
He's been
I
holding
had
it in
to.
the whole time. He's like,
Yeah,
oh,
I had to
man.
get it out.
We love it.
Well, there's a reason why it's Russell and Geeks. I mean, he's over here. I mean, I geek out. I mean, there's a reason why it's like that. I mean, my wife. I mean, like I collect like Funko Pops, Pokemon cards, and all that stuff. So I mean, when we do all the Star Wars stuff, and after the shows, I'm wanting to have a little fun with it. I'm probably going to end up bringing some Funko Pops. I'm wanting to move and kind of like have a cooler display with some really high-end Pokemon cards, just to make it fun for some of the younger kids and stuff.
Yeah,
that's the way to do it. It's definitely appealing.
My kids, Lord mercy, they would love you.
Yes.
Oh.
Like they love. Abel loves those Funko Pop things,
Yep.
and he's
Pokemon. Oh man, he got books,
Yeah.
books and catalogs.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually when found out I was I was having my son, actually a couple of months ago I ended up selling my collection of Pokemon cards to go buy baby stuff.
Oh,
So
wow.
I think I got like I don't know, maybe about $2,000 out of all of it, and I mean it's helped, it went right into savings. So we're about to buy a bunch of stuff, but I'm just like, it was so hard to let those go, and then my wife was like, well, you're having when he's old enough to start collecting them again. I'm like, oh yeah, I can't either. So it's just a bomb. You can't get mad at me. I'll just say it's for him.
That's the way out.
I'm telling you, Abel, like I was opening up because he has them in protectors and
And
stuff, and I was like looking these cards up, right? And he's got one card in there that by itself, just the one card is like $1,100. Like
Yep.
I'm like,
I kept a couple of cards, and I think I got one that I pulled. It's like just sell it raw without getting it engraved or anything. It's like a $200 card, and it's just like it's a piece of paper.
yeah.
I'm like, and my wife's like, it's just a piece of paper. I'm like, it's pretty though. It's cool artwork. Yeah.
It's what they put on it.
Yes.
It's a live
Pokemon card. Yeah, they everyone.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, and I got in I talked to Moose. I don't know if y'all know what's
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he did a Whatnot channel, and I got on there, and I got a little. I didn't realize how much money I was spending because it was fun bidding against people, and I spent a lot of money. And then my wife came home one day, and she was like, just waiting for me. I was like, I love you. I'll be right back. I made her dinner, bought her some flowers. I'm like, I'm so sorry. But I spent probably like $200-300 just on Funko Pops in one night, and she was like, really? She's like, really? She's like, do I need to be a parent and ground you from that app? I was like, maybe.
You need the Instagram sound. It's like this guy is sitting there, and I guess his girlfriend's like, I think you're addicted. I'm not addicted. I can stop anytime I want.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much. So, I mean, it's fun, and that's how that's why I love the ball python hobby or just the reptile hobby is there's so many different species, and then you get into that one species that's colors and all you can do with it.
It's pretty much endless.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's one thing I really that's what got me into it. Was I was watching like Snakebot. You know, he was showing off like these lessers and then pin stops and pods, and he was going into details on combos and stuff. And that's how that's what really got me intrigued into it. And then of course, you know, he's always had crap. He always had corn snakes, red tails, doom rolls. What he's had everything.
I've not had one of everything, but yeah, there's been a lot cycle through the house here as far as Timor monitors, Tegus, black and white Tegus,
Tegu
water monitors, chameleons. I mean, just you name it. I mean, we've had it for a while.
Oh yeah, ever since I can remember, we've always had it.
Hey, now you'll continue it with your offspring now.
Oh, I hope my wife was like, well, what if he doesn't like it? I'm like, he has to. He don't have a choice. Like he has to.
Yeah, he's gonna grow up seeing it, and then get involved in it. Yeah.
No, I mean, I know there'll be a time like I did, you know, through middle school. I played basketball through middle school, through all the way through high school, and you know, I lost interest in it. I always enjoyed it, but I lost interest in it. And I think that's what, you know, one thing I already told myself. I'm like, all right, it's gonna happen. It's gonna suck, but it will happen one day with him. He'll get out of it. Maybe he'll get back into it. But I mean, that's one thing I always tell people, like, you know, at the shows and stuff, that you know, just because you have this stuff doesn't mean you have to breed it, but it's really cool seeing, you know, like, branch out. Don't just be like, I have a ball python, I have to buy just all ball pythons. You know, like, I'll recommend people to Crested Geckos tables, or go look at, you know, colubrids and boas and all that stuff. I'm like, and I always tell them, you know, do your study first, of course, before you buy anything. That's one thing I always want people to really understand, is, you know, these aren't just something you put in a tank and you just leave them. You know, they're pets, like they're actual pets. And if you don't take care of them right, they're not going to have a good life. And that's not, you know, that's not what we want this hobby to be about, is people mistreating animals. And but that's one thing I love about it, is, you know, you can have anything and everything underneath the freaking sun on reptile wise. And there's one thing out of all of that you just love enough to where you want to have 1,000 of it.
Exactly. Yeah, the numbers do increase rapidly.
Yes,
Fast.
I used to call them open apartments.
Yeah.
When I had an empty cage or an empty slot or something like that. Oh yeah, that needs a tenant.
Man. Well, we've been rocking over an hour already.
Yeah,
Just been going.
So we can talk all day about this stuff. I mean,
and that's one thing that I love about what we're doing with it is, you know, we would be close anyway, but this is something that he and I have gotten into, and, you know, now hopefully grandkids get into it with us as well. And, you know, this is just a cool hobby that we've
got
bond
over and got to get
It definitely helps relationships.
Absolutely.
Oh,
so give them a shout out. I know both of you one handles Facebook, one handles Instagram. So what's the quickest way? Who's quicker in response?
We're probably equal, because we both have access to both. It's just whoever kind of gets to it. But I usually do Instagram, just because he used to Facebook, and love you, old man, but it's learning something new for me. It'd be a struggle.
I tell Darren the same thing.
I love Facebook. You know, we do our best to reply to any messages. The business Facebook, I think you have access to that too.
Yeah, they finally led to where I can have access to
that. Where if I don't see it, he sees it.
Yeah.
So, and what's your morph market? It's the same exact thing.
Most
same thing.
Is everything up to date on morph market as of right now, or do you have some that you got to put up? Or
there's always some we got stuck back.
This is where him being a hoarder's bad, because he'll put stuff up and take it down, or he's just not one to put it up until he figures out what he wants to do with it.
Like when I went to Tinley, I had Tinley only deals because I didn't have them posted anywhere. And I basically took them to a show. So if we're going to a show, you'll see a lot of stuff on our table that I probably don't have on Morph Market.
Oh, see, that's where I lost the deal. I should have grabbed it at the table.
well, what's funny is so that Krypton Head DG that you were talking about, when he got back home, I took that home with me.
It was a birthday. It
was a birthday present. Yeah, but he was like, if it comes back, he's like, I'll let you be your birthday present. I was like, yes, because I love the Krypton and the cryptic stuff.
Yeah.
No cryptic.
I was like, dang, you sold it. I think it wasn't even like too much after I showed up. I got home, I was like, let me hit him up.
I think it was like the next day.
No,
It,
I think it was like a week.
it was pretty quick. I remember.
Yeah.
It might have been.
It was within. I had to go back and look. Yes, but it was very short.
It was pretty quick, but
I was like, dang. But it's all right. It's all right.
hey, we're gonna make some cool
Still
stuff with it. Try to get Black Kid into there.
Yep.
But yeah, we're definitely going to be going real heavy into Krypton.
Yeah, that's
two males.
yeah.
That's a yellow belly DG Kryptons.
Yep.
And they're going to be seeing a lot of females.
Yep.
Oh, well, there you have it.
Well, I'll keep watching. I'll keep watching because some of that stuff I want to bring this.
I've got two, so whenever one starts breeding, he'll get the other.
I'll get the other one, and I already got a line of females lined up for them. They'll be triple hets. So triple het D, or no, yeah, because you can't do the clown and the cryptic on the same. So they'll be triple hets for DG, cryptic, or clown to hypo stuff with the black heads.
Oh wow, yeah, that's gonna be a big breeding.
So
we appreciate
that's
you
what.
taking the time with us.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a blast.
Thanks for having us.
It was
Yeah,
a
it was fun.
Do it again.
Oh yeah, we definitely want to do a follow up, and
And maybe we can, try to stop by the table or whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely. You're gonna be in Daytona.
Oh yeah, we'll be. And I hate to call it this. I may get in trouble, but I don't care. I call it. We're going to be set up in the Repticon room.
In the Repticon room? Oh, the
second room.
Side. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm not. And I mean, this is horrible because I'm going to be there in a couple of weeks, and I'm vending it, and I'm in that room. But it's like I remember when I went to the show.
Right.
I went over to the other room just because I felt so bad for the other people that were over there because I knew some of the vendors. Now I know one guy. I think he stole Justin a snake for like $11,000. I mean, so it's not like you can't sell anything out of that room. But it was just like I'm gonna go over there because I got friends that's vending over there and I want to see them. And it's like I walked over. It's like, oh god, this is anyway. But I mean, it's still Daytona. There's still a lot of cool stuff there. I remember there was anyway. So.
Yeah, you'll see him. Sadly, I can't get off work, so
we will be on the center aisle of. I think there's 3 aisles. We'll be on the we'll be on the end cap on the very end.
Okay.
So
yeah,
not only are we in the Repticon room, but we're at the very back on the end of an end cap. So at least it's an end cap, and thankful for being able to get in. So I'm not going to fuss about where I'm at. I'm just glad that I'm going, and we got our foot in the door, and we'll see what we can, see what we can do, and Ben, and hopefully some people will see this YouTube live. And,
there you go. There you go.
Yep.
We'll see this. And,
Live.
we want to come
Got
back off these guys. So yeah.
Well,
Plus having Chris spending with us and Paco will hopefully bring some people around.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. So hey, we'll let you go. We'll all go and hopefully have some dinner.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Get you back up here and definitely come down. We're gonna go over to your table in Daytona.
Yeah. Well, good to see everybody again, and we'll
good meeting everybody for the first time. Where you only guys meet him.
Yeah.
So
awesome. All right. Well, enjoy and thank you.
Appreciate
y'all.
Bye.
All right.